Welcome to Game 4, SKT versus G2 Esports. You know what's coming. You know what you're missing. And it's, of course, the Twitch chat. They're popping off right now. They're having loads of fun. They're having loads of banter. They're learning all about my past, which you also could learn about if you were here live on twitch.tv/Vedius official. You should go over to there, smash that follow button, and then you can tune into all of my wonderful streams. Thank you for having me, Twitch chat. It's a pleasure to be here. So let's crack on with the games at hand. We're in game 4. We already see the Renee ban, Akali ban. Rise has now been taken off the board. So let's have a look and see what else they ban. Right now we're setting up for a Xayah first pick from G2 Esports. Okay, let's move things along a little bit. G2 Esports, they're taking their time. The Kai'Sa ban comes out. SKT now have to make the choice. Do they ban away the Xayah? Do they ban away the Rakan? Do they ban away Greg? They take Xayah away. So this really confused me. I was like, why are they hovering this? But of course, it's going to be Greg. Why would you not go Greg? Now this sets up for the Yasuo combo. Now, of course, I'm cheating a little bit because I know Yasuo is going to come through. For SKT, thinking about what power picks are up and available, Nautilus is a very strong support that you could grab right now. You could also grab Elise if you wanted to. She's been a pretty contested pick so far this series. G2 have put a lot of focus on banning her away. I completely forgot about Qiyana. It's like I didn't watch this game. It just goes to show that I have completely forgotten this game. And then I think they could go for the Nautilus here. They could also go jungler if they want to. Oh yeah, they go the Varus, which I also think is weird. But the only reason why I could think that they would go Varus is because they're expecting the Yasuo to come through, which we know will come through because it's available. And that means G2 need to lock in a jungler themselves. So they could also do Elise here. Yeah, they could do Yasuo Elise. Then you can play around bot really easily. What is this hand motion from Perks? Look at this. I wonder what he's getting stressed out about. So, the great thing about these two, or even these three even, is flex. You don't know where any of them are going. This could still be jungle, this could still be mid, this could be bot. This could also be bot lane, along with this. The safe assumption is that this is a support, but you really don't know. And depending on what SKT pick, means that you can pivot. I'm sure that they could play this Yasuo into Qiyana if they really wanted to. So I don't know why, but I've just randomly thought that this bot lane could be called Yas, Greg. Yas. I don't know why. I just find that really funny. Yas, Greg. Yas. Anyway, Nautilus locked in. I think it's like really powerful support. I'm just trying to think. Okay. So this comp has a lot of flexibility. You don't know if this is going jungle or not. This is obviously a very solid 2v2 lane, but Varus doesn't have a lot of survivability against this. I think the Varus pick was really dangerous because you don't really have inbuilt mobility, and you also have a lot of skill shots that can be blocked by his wind wall. So I'm not a fan of the Varus pick. I think Nautilus is fine as far as supports go, because his ult will go underneath Yasuo's wind wall, I'm pretty sure, because it's not a skill shot. But they do still have the added advantage of Qiyana being a flex. So if I'm SKT, I'd probably ban junglers because I want to force the Gragas into jungle. I think that's what I would do. Wait, why would you ban supports? Why would you want to force? Maybe I misunderstand this matchup. Maybe they really want this 2 versus 2. G2's thinking about the Kled again. I really like having the Summoner's Rift music behind. Kale. I mean, I know we've consistently banned Kale, but I'd be very surprised if this team went for Kale. I mean, they could, but... Oh, LeBlanc. Just in case it's Kiana jungle, so that they can put the Syndra mid. This confirms for me that the Syndra's mid lane, which means that the Yasuo is bot. Yeah, he goes Olaf. Oh no. I'm surprised it's such the low priority on Gangplank this series. I think GP could have been great maybe here, but I guess they just want more engage. Like, I think this champ synergizes very well with that champ. Same for that one. It's also a safe side of the map, which means that Olaf can look to play through bot. The jungle mid synergy is also very strong. SKT have decided to put the Kiana in mid lane. So now, what if SKT go top? Maybe a split pusher, maybe something like a Fiora. I think Fiora is what I was thinking, but in the nature of their comp, oh, it's Vlad, isn't it? Because they want more AP. The problem is, like, their comp doesn't have a huge amount of crowd control outside of the Kiana. I think Kiana plus Elise can be a very strong 2v2 mid jungle. So I think one of the problems that SKT's comp has is that, like, how do they get onto this team? Like, you have Nautilus, sure, but you kind of want to fight them in choke points, right? And you kind of want to fight them in certain areas so your Kiana crowd control can land, and so you can have them bunched up so that Vladimir can get a multi-man ultimate off. But you're going up against a Syndra, so every time you run at the Syndra, she's just going to use her cone attack. And you're just going to be like, "Brrr." Like, you're kind of relying on finding flanks, which is really difficult. I think also in the early game, you can't dive top lane. I also don't even think Vlad has push early. I think Ornn gets push early. This guy has prio early because he's melee. And while this duo falls behind early on, alright, we can just safely say that this falls behind. But this is also a pretty easy lane to play around, especially if Teddy ever loses his flash. So I think in terms of the early game, G2 are set up more for success. And then I think in the mid game, they spike just as hard, don't they? And like, this comp is way harder to execute. Like, you literally just press R and you just go. And this all splits up. And if you land R onto one of these two, this guy Yasuo ults them and then everyone dies. I feel like ease of execution is just a lot easier for G2. Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see. These drafts have been a little weird, and they're hard for me to interpret. Yeah, let's watch the game. Anyway, let's watch the game. Kind of, on paper, I'm kind of saying that I think G2 have the better draft. And I think that their comp is easier to execute. You guys can see, right? You see the game? Yeah, yeah. Oh, real quick. Nice. Right.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
So something that G2 often do, I mean, European teams will often do on what teams will do with Olaf is do an invade to split the map because of how quickly you clear, right? Obviously they will get spotted out, but they don't care. They group up as a 4-man, which is the adaptation that they made compared to last game. What's interesting is Elise does start topside, but she's just going to pivot and go straight towards enemy blue, which is the best thing, and then you just clear the full topside. So they go for a bit of an early trade. You can see Syndra gets prio early. And Mickey. Ambitious. Now they get level 2. The level 2 all in. So the problem... The problem with Teddy and Mato even trying to make these plays is the map has been split on them. Which means that they really can't afford to push. They want to keep the wave state like this, right? Which I mean, initially, but like plays like that you can't afford to make. Like they do see Yankos, they know where he is because of this ward, but like maybe I'm being too critical. Maybe because they see the Olaf, they think it's fine, and maybe it should be fine. Yeah, they couldn't have come up there, but he flashes in and gets the kill. So already advantage gained in the bot side. He now has no flash. This 2v2 that should be an advantage for Teddy and Marta, they've now screwed up. And they're now in trouble. Top has push, mid has push. Everything is going extremely well for G2 in the early game. At least path topside, obviously, because the map was split. Ooh, Elise actually just passed straight towards bot. Now Olaf, you would assume, wants to invade enemy jungle because that's where the camps will be respawning soon. G2's bot lane want to try and keep it free so they can deny as much farm as possible. And Clit is snuck into the bot bush. Note that both top laners have TP. Caps has TP, Faker doesn't. Oh, I think Clit gets spotted now. Oh, the tiredness is hitting me now. Excuse me, chat. Excuse me. Ah! It's all coming back to me now. So Olaf has a very fast Drake clear. Obviously, because they have prio on bot, they think that they can clear it faster. This guy had, I mean, the wave is in a position where Faker kind of has to clear it, and Caps has TP. The problem is he gets spotted out. I can't believe that Cocoon actually landed. Wait, when did... Oh, Yankos used his flash way earlier on, didn't he? Yeah, well then he was always dead. This is super risky. Yas, because he didn't have proper deep vision in topside. He should have just waited for his mid lane to TP back in. I mean, it sucks for SKT that Vlad TP'd in as well because he literally does nothing. Meanwhile, Ornn is like, yeah, I'm just going to keep denying farm from you. Like, look at this. This is so sad. Vlad is just like, why? Why me? So yeah, that was not great. It's a cannon minion, so he's going to come back just in time. Top wave is going very well. That's going to slowly push towards the Vladimir, but that's alright. Good deep vision once again from Khan. I think it's D, right? Good roam from Mata. I like that he resets here because he recognizes the wave is slowly pushing towards him. He doesn't want to overextend, and this guy's doing a bit of a roam. Okay, I like this. So there's a small window here where Faker actually gets prio because Caps is doing blue. So he then uses his Moby Boots to roam down bot where they're already setting up a play. They want to threaten a dive with a huge wave that they have, and while they don't have TP, neither does Wonder. So because it's melee, double melee, and they're not level 6, they're forced to concede. Which is good. I want to try and put this Yasuo Gragas down, considering they're already so far ahead. Like, so far this early game going very, very well for G2 outside of the Drake blunder. It's still super good. They're like very comfortable. They don't have to force anything. What was that? Oh, nice. Good flash. He wasn't committed to using his ultimate on the Gragas knockup because his eyes were on Teddy. So I just don't think Pokes reacted fast enough. Now there's a wave here that they in theory could have dived off of, but Caps decided not to roam. And also, these guys are annoying. I remember this. So let's start with the initial trade. So remember the Ornn actually trades very well in lane. The Brittle passive is really strong, so he waits for the passive of Khan to go down. Yeah, that's a really good combo. And then of course he's going to heal a lot back. But Wonder's like, okay, I have Ignite, I have Ult, and I know if I'm in this situation, I'm like, I can kill Khan. I can kill Khan. I can definitely kill Khan. But, everyone watching, what have we learnt today? Strong side of the map, weak side of the map. Where's the jungler? He's in the bot lane. Support is also in the bot lane. Mid doesn't know who the enemy mid lane is. So if your whole team is more on one side of the map than the other, you are not in fact on the strong side of the map. Which means that Khan can of course bait Wonder into a bit of a cheeky skirmish. Wonder falls for the trap, and lying in wait is Faker. Moby Boots are also obnoxious as hell. I mean, he nearly kills him, and yeah, he would have killed him. But Faker was there, so Faker did also mess up the combo. If you really want to talk about it. So the thing about your E is if you E and then Q, it auto lands onto whoever. So even if they flash, they still get rooted. Yeah, and it wouldn't have cost him his Ignite, nor his ult. But he still gets the flash out from Wonder, so can't complain. Oh, I'm yawning now. Alright. 10 minutes into the game. Let's take stock. We think G2's combat scales. We also think G2's comp is harder to play. Yes, SKT has ways in which they can win the game, but it's hard. It's very hard. They can't really play through bot because Teddy doesn't have flash. They can kind of maybe play through mid, but it's not that easy because of the range difference between Caps and Faker. And top is just slowly scaling up. But, you know, he's been struggling a little bit and he's going even with the Ornn. Which means that a lot of the responsibility will fall on Clid to be able to try and find advantages, but where are you going to look for them? Well, bot lane's probably one of the best, but of course they have all their summoners up. Maybe you could go top lane now that his flash is down. But I think you probably want to play through bot just because the Drake is spawning soon. You want to try and get yourself the second Ocean. And for G2, it's probably that they can't fight right now because Yasuo is not that strong early in fights. Like 1v1s and small skirmishes, he's normally fine. However, in a team fight, especially this early, he's probably not going to do a huge amount. Which means that G2 probably want to avoid playing for this and instead will look to play for plates, or maybe they can trade it for a Herald. At least that's what I think they should try to do. It wouldn't be terrible for them to actually swap out of this lane, swap to top side and then play for Herald. Right, and then this play happens. So they don't know that Clid is here, obviously, because he's coming through the lane, right? But SKT also don't know that Olaf is here. So they commit onto killing this guy with the Olaf on his way. They don't realize that the Elise is there. Look, their goal is to kill Teddy. Good ulti, but of course it ignores the wind wall, and then Clid can just jump over with the Spider's Q. Big knockup with an immediate teleport in from the Vladimir. The Kiana's already roaming down. Of course Syndra is here as well. But the problem is so many flashes were committed from G2 to try and save what was a disastrous situation for Perkz. It was not wrong of him to ulti onto Teddy, however, he did not realize that Clid was in that brush. Which means that he put himself in a 3v1 situation, and then two people just flashed on top of a Varus ultimate. Mickey has to disengage to get out of that situation. The bright side for G2 is they do find a kill, and both flashes are out because of how strong this Olaf is. But then Khan's hit. So at this point, G2 should really consider just disengaging, because now Wonder has arrived. However, they don't. They greed, and they're not looking at the minimap state. Really good Zhonya's to mitigate all of the damage. Hook lands onto Jankos, who's now trapped underneath the tower. They don't kill Mata because he just barely walks away. And then Fake is able to show up and start cleaning up. Honestly, just greed coming out from G2. They really didn't need to overforce that play, and it ended up hurting them a lot. And now the Kiana gets a bunch of kills. And remember how we said, like, G2 just kind of need to sit back and wait. They don't need to try and overforce things. Like, maybe they can look bot, but they didn't respect SKT's game plan themselves. And we were literally just talking about how SKT, if they're going to play through anything, they'll probably look to play through bot. So they didn't factor it in. They didn't really think things through, and they ended up getting punished. Caps missed the stun because his ult pulled the ball back, so Khan could stopwatch. Wow. That's unlucky. Good spot, Twitch chat, good spot. Okay. So now it's actually SKT that make the swap. This is what we wanted to see from G2 a little bit earlier. But instead they tried to force the 2v2 all in bot lane. Oh wait. I think G2 actually swapped first because of course they didn't stick around for the bot Drake, so they actually get this. They can now use the top lane if they want to get more gold onto Perkovic. Oh, they use it mid. That's quite interesting. Hardest to defend, maybe?
Turret rating is low.
There's mainly just a lot of farming because, I mean, it's difficult for both teams to really force anything. The Elise really wants to try and play around the duo, but obviously can't because Perks is showing a decent amount of respect. Drake isn't spawning for a while. Whichever kill coming up. Alright. This is a pretty good kill, actually. Yeah, I mean, he has no flash and he has no cleanse either. So Mata uses Hex Flash. This is when all this is broken. Boom, boom. Yep, he does get one stun there, but that's not the stun that matters. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. So with him dead, they can now siege onto mid. Which of course they can't get. Because their siege isn't very good. I mean, Varus is fine, but you don't build a lot of AD. Huh, interesting. They tried to force something there, but they couldn't quite find a pick. Next Drake should be spawning soon. I'm really not a fan of those games where you're just like, nah, you don't have to do a lot. I mean, SKT kind of have to keep finding these picks that, to be fair, they've done a great job of finding. Especially after that team fight in bot. Like, I overall think the G2 have been, like, way too aggressive this series. They've not respected their opponents many times. They've overstayed. They've greeded. Their early games have been, like, shoddy. I think Jankos has gradually gotten better, but even then, like, this game wasn't super strong in terms of his early game presence. Okay. Was that the ult? No. So now Drake is spawning once again. Kiana is top for some reason, even though Khan has TP. Or whatever. That's how it is. I guess it does make sense because Wonder has no armor yet. So swapping out Khan and putting Faker in will definitely give him a stronger damage advantage. SKT, because they have 5, are able to push in mid and they look for a collapse on bot while also doing the Drake. G2 will probably look to trade that for the top tier 1. Right, let's have a look at this. So the funny thing is, I don't even think this is Perks playing weak side of the map. This is just, they happen to spot Perks' animation. Yeah, see, he saw that and he's like, oh, I found Yasuo. There you go. Pick found. Yeah, I don't think he was overextending. It's just Faker with Moby Boots. And damage. So now the thing is, because he's dead, they have Prio on bot. They can also look to play mid. And they find another pick. Damn, man. Like, SKT finding a bunch of these picks. G2 have not had a great early game at all. Mata's been doing so well. I mean, right now, SKT's in a fine spot. Is that next Drake soon? No, it's not for a while. So why are they sending Vision around bot? To threaten a flank, maybe? Wonder's pretty close to the turret. Wait, a lot's happening right now. Okay. Let's just watch it. Okay. So, what I'm thinking G2 want to do here is they obviously want to set up the flank, but they don't have the bot tier 1 that they would normally use to set up this play. So instead, they jump over the wall. They look for a pick. Mickey misses everything, as is per usual. Perks also misses his Q. But not much is happening on that side. Meanwhile, on this side, Caps just baits what's his face in, Khan, so that he can stopwatch. But the big thing about this is it gets the pull out early, while these two are also forced back. And you have to flash here if you're Teddy, because otherwise you get Yasuo vaulted. Which I think was a mistake from Perks. He shouldn't have gone onto Clid. Because obviously he isolates himself and kills himself. Caps with a really good stopwatch allows him to turn it around against the likes of Khan. Meanwhile, Faker cannot find a flank because Olaf is sitting here zoning him out the entire time. See, he's just sitting here being like, yep, hey buddy, what's up? You stay over there. Damn, the fact that his axe was over there. What the fuck is Faker doing? Of course he can't be disabled. Damn. He's just like, la 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 la, come into my kitchen of death. It's me, Mr. Olaf, and I'm here to murder you. And he kills him. Caps just barely lives. Yeah, he doesn't have precision either. Oh, that flash. Oh, watch the side step, watch the side step. Watch the side step. Meow. Nice. Gragas with the E. Man, G2 are great team fighters. And then all of a sudden, any kind of advantage SKT had has now been thrown to the wayside. Oh, their mid jungle was so good. They've punished so many mistakes from G2. G2 have made so many mistakes. Mainly just individual mistakes. Overstaying, getting caught out. Like, some of them are harmless mistakes. You know, like, I'm not, like, super critical. Like, that play bot, sure. Should they be more aware that the jungler might be there? Yes. But, like, I don't think that's such an egregious mistake that it cost them a game. Whereas, like, Caps randomly dying on a side lane, he hasn't done it this game, but he has done it this series, I think is, like, a bigger issue. But it also just stems from the fact that all of these players doing this is... Okay, that was a pretty good barrel, Mr. Mickey. So they're just farming. But look at how much pressure they've lost now. I don't think they're going to start the Baron, but they can threaten it. Oh, whoops, I jumped back too far. So G2 used their numbers to gain prio in mid to set up into river and invade enemy jungle to get vision down. Then for some reason they decide to fight on an Elise. Oh man, that's really sad. So he ults. So Faker ults Yankos, who obviously doesn't give a fuck because he ults immediately. Like look at Yankos. And Cap stopwatches. So Faker thinks he's found like a really good spot, which to be fair I think he had. This could have killed them all. But stopwatch into ulti. Quick reactions, finds the kill. Wonder avoids the stun, still gets stunned because it's so big. Gets the kill anyway. Meanwhile Teddy is just running for his life because he doesn't get to do anything. It wasn't a good fight though. Even though they traded 1 for 2, would not call that a good fight. Like they also weren't fighting over anything, like it was just pointless. Oh, Mickey. So Mickey's reset has been delayed, which means that G2 might not actually be able to contest this. Yep. Yeah, so I had to reset as well. They use this time though to get vision around topside jungle, so they can start to threaten and set up around the Baron. Maybe look for a pick, like that. Ooh, good reactions. And get the flash out from Mata because he gets a little too overeager. Notice that G2 have completely abandoned their side lanes. Did I queue into a solo queue game? Okay. So at this point, G2, do you want to know what they do? They leave. They leave. They leave. This group of people, they go that way. They go up to here. They can go over there. They can go over there. It doesn't matter. They don't go that way. Why are they doing this? It's him. You got his flash. Congratulations. Like, I acknowledge that there are a lot of summoner spells on cooldown right now. But, like, what are they fighting for? What's the point? How is this situation even good for you? No, go that way. You're doing the right thing. No. 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 Like, look at this. This guy's like, yeah, alright, I'll just kill all of you then. That's fine. Like, look, they're leaving. They're doing what they're supposed to do. They're like, off we go to set up for Baron. We're setting up for the Baron. Look, Mr. Baron over... Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Zoned out. Thought I was in a dream. Nope, not dreaming. Still real. Alright. Seriously though, they should have just gone not here. I blame Caps. Caps done a lot of dumb stuff this series. Like, this is a great ulti from Mata though. Props to him. Like, Jankos though. Alright, here's props to Jankos. Jankos has stopped every single faker flank. I respect him. He has stopped this from being... Well, they get ace, don't they? But... Props to Jankos. He made Faker irrelevant. Good job, Jankos. Pat on your head. Great job. But, like, for real, that was really bad. They were in such a good spot, and they just completely threw it away. And they did it all for a Nautilus. There was literally no reason for them to fight there. Just none at all. Unfortunately, it doesn't get better. I remember this play as well. So at this point, I'm just like, are they going to try and steal it? So I'm thinking Jankos has ulti, so he could just run in. He can run in right now. If he halts right now, he could just run in. I don't know why they were so focused on fighting Khan. And that's a lot of damage, Caps, I admit. God. You know, I'm starting to ask myself, how did G2 win this game? Okay, let's get back to the game. Right. 25 minutes in, SKT have now secured a Baron buff. They're quite content. SKT are like, yes, we're going to Game 5. This is the Game 5 that all fans have longed for. This is how we want to win. But you gotta remember, scaling. Scaling. The scaling of the G2 comp is very scary indeed. And so the problem with SKT is they can't really split push to victory because I don't know if... I mean, Khan could probably beat everyone in the side lane at this point. Yeah, he could. Alright, then you split push. But I actually don't think SKT know how to split push. Let's watch Khan. Let's just watch Khan. Actually, no, we can't just watch Khan. We gotta watch the whole team. Alright, so they send Kiana top. This is fine. Wait a minute.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed. Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
No.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
So for those who have watched me play solo queue, you will have heard me use the phrase, "Can I stay an extra wave?" Right? And every time I say, yes, I can, I die. Literally every single time. Without a doubt. Every time I ask Ender that question, can I stay for an extra wave? I have always died whenever I stayed for that wave. Every time. This is one of those moments where Faker is like, yeah, I can stay for an extra wave. But he can't. He can't at all. Man. He just doesn't have information, you know? Like, this might look harmless, but he just doesn't have the information he needs to be able to, like, push in this situation. He has no pressure bot lane, right? The only thing that G2 lose is pressure in mid, but they're going to lose this anyway, probably. Or, like, the likelihood of them losing this tower is high anyway. And the best thing G2 can do is, like, try and reduce the number of Baron buffs, find these picks. As long as they don't lose their whole base, they're happy, right? So, like, the cost versus benefit of Faker sticking around for this wave was massive. It was really bad. Like, sure, he has Moby boots and he almost gets out of this situation, but, like, he's really fast. And he's wasting a lot of time. Like, yeah, they lose this tower, but, like, also I think they should be setting up this wave. But, like, this is pretty worth it for G2, because now they just stall the Baron out for, like, a really long time. Like, look, Perks is going to push up top wave. Man. That's just sad to watch. Like, staying literally for an extra wave. Like, just why? You don't need it. That's sad. So Clit is looking for a flank. Oh, that's unlucky. Or great sidestep from Mickey, perhaps. Let's evaluate. What do we think? Oh, that's definitely a sidestep. That's a sidestep, surely. Surely that's a sidestep. Look at him. He's got his like hacks on. He's just like, whoa. Greg hitting the dance floor. Whoa. You know? It's like gliding through the air. I'm walking in the air. That was Mickey.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Alright, nice. I don't like that he's resetting right now, but I think it's... He does have TP, so... Yeah, okay. No, this is super fine. This is super fine. Yep, this is good. This is what you should do. Generate 2 points of pressure. Play between the two. This is good. This is good, good, good. So now... So this is what SKT wanted to do earlier. So do you remember when Faker died top lane? If he hadn't died, they could have been doing this much earlier and they'd still have a lot more time left on the Baron. But this was the play that they wanted to make, right? So they're now playing through 2 lanes. They're keeping the pressure up. This is good. They'll eventually take at least one of these 2 towers down. It's just a matter of time. And if G2 engage on one side... Ooh, that's unlucky. Nice laugh from Khan. W 8 seconds. That's good. Yeah. Okay. Now they attack one side though. So in theory, what Khan should be doing is focusing here. So they at least guarantee an inhibitor and the rest of them should be looking to disengage. But, oh no. Oh no, Mata. So look, he Qs into this wall. They really like engaging on Mata. Wait, does he Q into the wall? Am I just... Yeah, he does. He does, because the Q gets a reduced cooldown when it hits, like, obstacle, you know? So look. Oh, wait. Oh, no, he ults. I'm trolling. I'm trolling. He ults. I'm trolling. It's my fault. Mata is not in the wrong here. I'm in the wrong. You can see it's Q's on cooldown. It's my fault. They find a kill onto Mata. Honestly, initially, this fight doesn't even look that good, right? Especially given that Perks is like 1v2 in his situation. He always ults Clid when Clid is definitely not the one he wants to ult. But the real MVP of this fight actually ends up being Caps, right? So he gets knocked up in the back. Okay, Khan then joins the fight. Knock up for Mickey. They want to kill Mickey. What stuns him? Does he get stunned? Or am I trolling? I swear he got stunned. Okay, so that obviously knocks him airborne. No. Oh, he's using his ult, so he's just kind of standing still, I think. Yeah, he's using his ult. So bear in mind, that nearly saves Mickey. Just remember that. If the ult from Vlad hadn't landed, that he would have lived. But aside from that... Whoa. Wait, was that literally just QE? Good knockup. So he doesn't have the reset on his W because he used it to get over the wall, so he can't just one-shot Mickey, right? Mickey then gets the aftershock. So this is W into E. No, there must be a Q in there as well. There has to be. Yeah, there has to be. There's a Q in there. That's the full combo. That's WEQ plus electrocute. Yeah, because the ult hasn't been used yet. Yeah, his ult is still up. But he just dies. And then they save the ult for when he comes out of the pool. Wow, Teddy going in. Damn, he could have won the game right then and there. That was close. shit, man. I forgot this end part of the fight. Oh, that's why he flashes early. So he sees the ball, and he's like... He uses the ulti. Oh, he's so close. His E is still on cooldown. Boom. I respect that from Teddy, though. He tried. He tried really hard. To be fair, though, like, I'm not quite sure how Faker plays that fight any differently. Like, this is not the place you want a team fight on a Kiana. So, like, do I think he's the reason they lost? No. The fact that the Vladimir died at all is why SKT won. But I think that they should have focused on getting this inhibitor because it was more valuable to them. Because the Baron spawns... Wait, when? 23:53, which means it's 29:53. So in a minute and a half from now, if they had taken that inhibitor, they'd have a massive point of pressure. So even if they lost the fight, you see what I'm saying? Like, the objective should have been this, not trying to team fight. G2's comp is just easier to team fight with. So now they're setting it for Baron again, which is fine. Take it back, apply some control wards. Red team turret has been destroyed. God, G2 took some really awful mid-game fights. They hate Marta. They actually just hate Marta. Every single engage has started by going, we're killing Marta. Like every single one of them. Okay, the Varus ultimate hits here. Here comes Khan from the flank. Okay, that misses onto Mickey, so he jumps out the way. That's going to hit him, right? Just. He gets the heal. No one dies. Whew! Sweaty palms, sweaty palms. But now with Marta forced back, they could consider Baron, but of course... Well, only Gragas ultimate. Oh, and Ornn ultimate, so... It's pretty on cooldown, though. You can see that Marta actually starts spamming Ornn R is on cooldown. And a good protection there from Caps. SKT looking for a bit of an engage. Like, I really think... I guess he doesn't have TP, so we can't really play on side lane, but I wish SKT just had a little bit more control over their side lanes. We're just continuously running down mid. Admittedly... Ooh, so Berks gets split up. Oh man, what a wind wall. See, now if Marta had watched my stream last week, he would have learned all about the walls. It's like the thing you have to remember is that SKT's ability to engage is really hard. So if they can find a pick, they should look for it. Right? They should. They should just look for this kind of pick. But the wind wall blocks the root, which is the first part of the damage. And then Faker gets the reset, but it's nowhere near enough damage. If that initial root lands, it's still probably... Like, so I think the biggest mistake from Faker... I don't even... Does Elise have flash? No. So the problem is... Like, all of SKT see this. They all recognize he's out of position. They all want to follow, but they can't. He doesn't have flash or ult. He doesn't Clear doesn't have flash or ult. He has Hex flash, but he's not going to get there in time. Which means that Perks is technically safe. Faker just needs to chain the CC long enough for the rest of his team to show up and get the kill. But they don't because of this wind wall. Wait. Actually, am I trolling? Does he get stunned anyway? Because he takes damage. Am I trolling? Does the auto? I think the auto procs the shield. Yeah. But my point is that he's not stunned right now, is he? He just takes an auto to the face. And then the ult stuns him. Yeah. The ult stuns him. The wind wall blocks the initial Q. And then he gets exhausted, which probably... Well, actually, that mitigates so much damage. But then he doesn't die. And he gets healed. Not sure why, but... Oh, it's Wonder's heal. That's why. That's fine. And then this is the weird part. Honestly, this is the weird part. Because, like, I can understand why Faker would make that play. Like, if he finds that pick, they get Baron. That's the game. This, I get, right? Sure, in the moment, or, like, the fact that we can pause and look, the likelihood of him actually getting this kill is low. But I understand where the logic comes from. If I kill Perks, we get Baron, we can win the game. I get it. The fucking question mark... Because what was that? If I just ace their team, we will get Baron, and we will win the game. Do you reckon that's his logic? Because he instantly pulls as well, so he's not even threatening the backline. This guy had Banshee's fail. He gets healed from the Vlad ultimate, which is pretty nice, but... Oh, and then... Because he doesn't have flash. So yeah, this was random as fudge. I mean, he has no flash. I appreciate that he's killing those wards. And you could argue that, like... I mean, what I think SKT should have just done is push this wave and then gone that way. I guess they wanted to try and protect Khan. I don't know, I think Faker's decision to go in here at all is... I mean, if the reason why he came in here was to kill the wards, then... That's a little XD. All the skill shots. Sucks. The irony is, the play that Faker wanted to make by trying to find this pick, which could convert into the Baron, ends up being the play that happens to him. If G2 find this pick, they get the Baron. Let's slow the game down, that's what I'm going to do. Yep, and that play cost them the game. I feel bad for Faker, because you can understand what he was trying to do. That comp is really hard to try and find like an engage on like that. Like, sure, he probably should have evaluated that he was never actually going to kill Perks, but... You can't blame a man for trying. Okay, so what happens next? Because the game ain't over yet. Alright, I think the Yasuo dies over here. So this is G2 playing the 4-1 once again. Yeah, this forcing Khan back here is what gives them this tower. And then Perks just overstays a little bit top. Good flank from Faker. Does the... Oh my god, the ult gets wind walled. Faker just can't catch a break, man. Why would he use that right at the beginning, though, is my question. Oh, shit. Wait a minute. Okay, wait. I pressed the wrong button. So, SKT, knowing that they have a numbers advantage, actually just run down mid. Oh, this is actually really smart. Trade for inhib, buy more time. Oh, but they get... Well, I don't think they get greedy, but they get engaged on. They want to run now. The positioning of this for SKT is not great. Well, and they use the ultimate on the Ornn. Man! SKT's team fighting. Some of the decisions that they're making. Oh, Caps fucked that up. Oh, Clid uses his repel super early. Gets slowed. Vlad is now looking at everyone. Caps now has the Zhonya's. Becomes impossible to dive. Oh, he still actually gets hit by the ult. Actually, yeah. But he's going to get stunned. No. Oh, right. Lots of fights are happening. I was watching what happened to the Olaf first. We'll move on to the other side of the fight now. So he dies. Oh, wow. Great stopwatch. Yasuo is just respawning. Yeah, Gragas used the ultimate there. Wow, that's on a very low cooldown. Teddy's trying to 1v1 Wonder. So many stopwatches. Bang. And then, of course, Yasuo is now in the fight. Yeah, but he's level 17 at this point. Like, look at that crit. Oh, Jankos lived? How did Jankos live? Oh, he's flat. But let's go back to the start of the fight and watch what Faker does the whole time. Let's watch Faker. So Faker's just sitting back here. And I don't think he needs to be in the front with his team. He wants to fight in this area anyway. His ult is still on cooldown, I'm pretty sure. Mickey plays that pretty well. Yeah, he actually plays that super well. But I don't... He tunnels so hard on the support. That's... Yeah, he doesn't get to the blast point in time. Damn, man. Like, every fight, Faker was just killing Mickey. GG. Well, there you go. Do I think Faker's the reason they lost that game? No. I think he was part of the reason why they lost that game. But, like, he definitely was not the worst player this series. Like, I think you can throw a lot of criticism towards Khan. I think, like, Effort had up and down performances. Like, Clid was nowhere near... Like, actually, Clid's early game was great. I can't criticize Clid. Pardon me. But to me, it wasn't just, like, his Kiana. It was also the team doesn't know how to play with a Kiana. Like, finding the right spaces to find team fights with Kiana. Like, 2 massive team fights happened here. Why does Kiana want to fight here? This isn't where she's strong. She doesn't do anything here. Like, you want to fight in these areas or whatever. But also, like, Faker just misexecuted on trying to kill Yasuo multiple times and not respecting the win wall. Like, you can bait that shit out. Yep. I ultimately think G2 also made a bunch of mistakes. They tried to force so many fights that just didn't make any sense. Like, they were greedy. They misplayed. Like, when watching it live, the game was very tense. The game was extreme. Because ultimately, I believe that SKT played better than G2 did, but G2 drafted in a way that allowed them to come back into the game later on. And large part of that was because SKT did not execute properly on the comps that they drafted themselves, but at the same time, G2 would have these moments in pretty much every game where a certain player would stand out. But Mickey, 100% should have been the MVP. I think it may have been hard to identify during the game, but it should have been Mickey. Mickey was by far the best player in every single game. It's very difficult to fault his performance. So yeah, my thoughts are G2 actually have a lot of work that they need to do. I know a lot of EU fans are excited about G2 right now, but that team fighting is good, don't get me wrong. But FPX has a very good early game. They're much better at snowballing leads. I would say that they don't like draft in the same way that SKT do. G2 have some stuff they need to fix. Yeah, for sure. I would definitely be worried. But I still need to review the FPX IG series, see how that one played out, see what that one shows me about FPX and how they played. But I felt like it was a similar situation where the enemy team like misexecuted a lot. But it's one of those weird things where like you play at an extremely high level, the intensity, the pressure, a different environment, like there are so many factors that come into it. I think sometimes it's really difficult to predict how a player will perform. I still ultimately think that the baseline level performance of SKT was higher. I think that overall, especially in the like 0 to 20 minute mark, SKT played a much better game. But it's hard to fault G2, you know? It's really hard to fault G2. They did a lot of cool stuff. I mean, I say it's hard to fault. Caps did a lot of dumb shit this series. Jankos didn't have a great game 1 and 2. Wonder was really good in 1 and 2, and then 3, he died a bunch on Camille. Perks didn't have a great laning phase in game 1. I'm sure that G2 will review this and recognize that there are a lot of things that they could have done better. There's a lot of things, and I think that they should not consider themselves favorites for the World Finals right now. I think that their good drafting ultimately allowed them to win, and like they all need to perform like pretty consistently. But we'll see. I'm not gonna like completely count them out. This is obviously a very difficult opponent, very tense. Smaller mistakes get punished much larger, and I'm sure that they'll be able to still put on a very good performance in the finals. I definitely don't expect it to be 3-0, but G2 definitely need to clean up their play. Anyway, that's gonna do it for the VOD. Thank you for watching. If you're watching on the YouTubes, you can check out all my other content by smashing that subscribe button. I love saying that. Anyway, thank you for joining us on this magical adventure. It's been wonderful fun. See you in the next video.